Welcome back to my channel Celebuzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Quick, without thinking, who are your favorite actors ever? And I don't want you to think, just say some names. In the world of American movies, Steven Spielberg sits on a throne built from 50 years of cool technology and emotional stories that have changed what popular movies can do. He's like a great painter, and he loves the picture frame, not just, what happens inside of it. And so I have to look at the searchers almost every time. The man who made Jaws, E.T. and Schindler's List is more than just a director. He shows a way of making movies that treats each project like a special team-up between technology and human feelings. But Spielberg's famous reputation for being nice and professional has sometimes hidden big fights with actors whose ways of acting or personal behavior really went against his strong beliefs about doing art the right way and working well with others. I have a lot of big dreams about my heroes, all the smart people that all of us, whether we know it or not, are learning from and whose work we build on. What makes Spielberg's rare professional fights really important is how they show the big differences between fun entertainment and serious art in Hollywood's creative world. His amazing success has been built on being able to get real acting from actors, while keeping the technical skill needed for big movies. But this careful balance needs actors who share his love for both emotional truth and professional greatness. And then I became just one more person hurt by this amazing drug called movies, and I was no longer in a theater. 6. Sean Young. The professional fight between Steven Spielberg and Sean Young is one of Hollywood's most carefully hidden stories, with their hate coming from big disagreements about professional behavior and creative limits that almost destroyed what should have been a career-changing team-up. When Young was first thought about for big roles in several Spielberg movies during the 80s, her first screen test showed clear talent that impressed the director and his casting team. But their working relationship quickly got bad when Young's crazy behavior and clear lack of care for professional rules began messing up Spielberg's carefully planned movie schedules. The director's famous attention to details and nice management style didn't work with Young's more messy approach to both character building and behavior on set. Sean had amazing natural ability, remembered casting director Mike Fenton, but she seemed unable to use that talent through the team framework that Steven needs from all his actors. Their few working times showed an actress whose personal problems more overshadowed her clear screen presence and dramatic potential. The breaking point came when Young supposedly broke privacy agreements by talking about private movie details with entertainment reporters, making Spielberg question her trustworthiness and professional judgment. Her later behavior during industry events only made stronger his belief that she lacked the emotional stability needed for major film productions. 5. Shia LaBeouf. The creative relationship between Steven Spielberg and Shia LaBeouf started as a promising teacher-student thing, but slowly turned into one of Hollywood's most disappointing professional disappointments, with their work together on the Indiana Jones movies, showing basic problems between traditional movie-making values and modern method acting extremes. When Spielberg first cast LaBeouf in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, he expected that the young actor's intensity and commitment would bring fresh energy into the beloved adventure series. Instead, their partnership quickly showed an actor whose preparation methods and behavior on set more conflicted with Spielberg's preference for disciplined professionalism and working well with others. LaBeouf's habit of staying in character between takes and his confrontational approach to creative discussions created tension that affected the entire production atmosphere. Shia brought this method actor intensity that Steven first appreciated, observed producer Frank Marshall, but it slowly became clear that his approach was more about personal expression than serving Thestory's bigger purposes. Their creative meetings became exercises in nice management as Spielberg tried to channel LaBeouf's energy in good ways. The relationship got worse when LaBeouf started publicly criticizing the film during promotional interviews, breaking Spielberg's basic belief that actors should support their teammates, even when personal artistic satisfaction stays incomplete. His later comments about the franchise and Spielberg's directorial choices crossed professional boundaries that the director found unforgivable. The professional tension between Steven Spielberg and Julia Roberts during their work together on Hook represents one of movies' most carefully managed conflicts, with their opposite approaches to character development and behavior on set, creating an atmosphere of barely hidden frustration that tested everyone's nice skills. When Roberts was cast as Tinkerbell in Spielberg's Big Peter Pan adaptation, both artist and director first expressed excitement about bringing the beloved fairy tale to modern audiences. But their partnership quickly showed basic disagreements about how fantasy characters should be shown and how actors should behave during expensive productions. Roberts' habit of asking for lots of script changes, and her unpredictable approach to emotional availability, created logistical challenges that conflicted with Spielberg's need for exact scheduling and technical coordination. Julia wanted to explore psychological depth in a character that Steven saw as pure magical energy, remembered screenwriter James V. Hart, who saw several heated creative discussions between star and director. Their meetings became more and more tense, as both creative forces struggled to find common ground between character complexity and narrative functionality. The conflict got worse when Roberts' personal life started affecting her professional availability, leading to production delays that cost the studio millions while testing Spielberg's legendary patience with difficult performers. Her occasional absences from set required lots of schedule changes that affected every department's carefully planned workflow. I know more about, him and his life and Amy Irving and what have you than I probably said about my own life. What made their hate particularly frustrating for Spielberg was how Roberts' clear charisma and screen presence should have perfectly served the film's magical themes, but her inability to maintain consistent professional behavior prevented their work together from achieving its obvious potential, despite significant financial and creative investment. 3. Ryan O'Neal. The bitter conflict between Steven Spielberg and Ryan O'Neal represents one of Hollywood's most personally destructive professional relationships, with their creative disagreements extending far beyond artistic differences into territory that permanently damaged both their working relationship and mutual respect. When O'Neal was thought about for several Spielberg projects during the 70s and 80s, his established star power and dramatic abilities first made him an attractive working partner, but their few professional interactions quickly showed incompatible personalities and approaches to movies that made productive partnership impossible. O'Neal's old-school Hollywood star behavior clashed dramatically with Spielberg's more democratic and team-like directorial style, creating immediate tension during creative meetings and screen tests. Ryan operated like a traditional movie star who expected special treatment, observed production designer Norman Reynolds, while Steven treated everyone from leads to extras with the same professional respect and expected similar behavior in return. Their personality clash became obvious during early development discussions, where O'Neal's demands for script changes and special accommodations conflicted with Spielberg's equal treatment production philosophy. The situation got worse when O'Neal supposedly made inappropriate comments about other cast members during industry events, showing a lack of professionalism that violated Spielberg's basic beliefs about working well with others and project loyalty. His reputation for difficult behavior on other productions only made stronger the director's decision to avoid future collaboration. 2. Mickey Rourke. The professional hate between Steven Spielberg and Mickey Rourke comes from basic disagreements about acting methods and professional responsibility that have prevented any meaningful collaboration despite their obvious mutual talent and industry prominence. When Rourke first appeared as a serious dramatic force in the 80s, Spielberg first expressed interest in the actor's intense screen presence and commitment to character authenticity. But their potential partnership quickly failed when Rourke's method acting, extremes and unpredictable personal behavior proved incompatible with Spielberg's need for reliable professionalism and team-like stability. The director's legendary ability to work with challenging performers met its match in an actor whose approach to character development often extended beyond professional boundaries into personal dysfunction. Mickey's commitment to character truth was genuine, remembered casting director Janet Hersonen. But Steven needs actors who can access that authenticity without losing sight of the bigger production's requirements and team responsibilities. Their few meetings showed creative minds operating from completely different ideas about professional conduct and artistic responsibility. The conflict got deeper when Rohr's reputation for behavior on set unpredictability and his tendency to prioritize character exploration over production schedules became industry folklore that reached Spielberg's attention through trusted teammates. His later career choices and personal struggles only made stronger the director's belief that the actor lacked the emotional stability necessary for major studio productions. What made their lack of collaboration particularly disappointing for movie enthusiasts, Washoe Rohr's raw dramatic power should have flourished under Spielberg's nurturing directorial approach. But his inability to maintain professional boundaries prevented any meaningful partnership despite their obvious creative compatibility and mutual respect for serious movies. Brando. The complex relationship between Steven Spielberg and Marlon Brando represents perhaps Hollywood's most philosophically profound missed opportunity, with their few professional interactions revealing basic incompatibilities between traditional movie star behavior and modern team-like movies partnership despite mutual artistic respect. When Spielberg first achieved prominence in the 70s, Brando presented the pinnacle of serious dramatic acting, making potential collaboration seem like an inevitable meeting of movie minds. But their actual encounters quickly showed that Brando's legendary unpredictability and dislike for commercial movies directly contradicted Spielberg's need for reliable professionalism and team-like commitment to project success. The aging actor's tendency to treat film roles as psychological experiments rather than team-like responsibilities created immediate tension with the director's more structured approach to storytelling. Marlon operated according to his own creative logic that didn't acknowledge production realities. Observe producer Kathleen Kennedy, who witnessed several failed attempts to bring the two together. Steven respected his genius, but couldn't accommodate the chaos that seemed to follow him to every project. The breaking point came when Brando's demands for script control and his insistence on improvising major dramatic scenes conflicted with Spielberg's carefully planned technical requirements and narrative structure. Their creative meetings became exercises in diplomatic impossibility, as both artists struggled to find common ground between genius and professionalism. What made their lack of collaboration particularly tragic for film history was how Brando's revolutionary approach to character development should have perfectly complemented Spielberg's technical mastery. But their incompatible working methods prevented any meaningful artistic partnership despite obvious mutual admiration and respect for each other's contributions to movies. Steven Spielberg's rare professional conflicts reveal his unwavering commitment to team-like respect and technical excellence. These fights demonstrate how even diplomatic genius cannot bridge fundamental gaps between professionalism and artistic chaos. Subscribe for more directorial insights.